A few weeks, I plan to do a deep dive on Crew AI, understand the features of Crew AI, and also want to do some hands on work uh, on Crew AI to understand the internals of this framework. How does it work? Right? Now, while I was gathering the content for me to get knowledgeable on this framework, I wrote a Claude skill. So Claude and I worked together. In fact, I wrote the skill, tuned it, so that it gathers the required information from the authoritative Crew AI documentation to create a structured tutorial for me. And that is what I am planning to go through for the next few sessions or weeks, so that I get more knowledgeable on this framework. Right? And I wanted to record it because whatever I learn, I wanted to share it with everyone because it's a public knowledge. You can get the same information that I am sharing here from the Crew AI documentation as well. I just structured them a little bit using Claude for sure. Wrote a Claude skill for that. Right now, what is Crew AI? So Crew AI is a Python framework for orchestrating agents. If uh, if we want to understand what other frameworks are, similar frameworks are there. So Crew AI is um, Crew AI orchestration works in the space where LangGraph, LangChain, ADK, AWS Strands, right? Those are other framework options through which you can create agent orchestration. Crew AI falls in that category. So um, it helps to orchestrate the agents. Not only that, Crew AI has actually gone one level up, similar to your LangGraph Cloud, or I think earlier LangGraph used to call it uh, LangGraph Studio, if I am not mistaken. But it also Crew AI also provides a way to not only orchestrate the agents but also to deploy it, make it observable. It gives that platform to do the end-to-end agent development, which will come to in subsequent sessions. We'll start from zero to hero type of approach, right? So the two core primitives of Crew AI are the crew itself, which is a team of agents working through tasks under a process, which can be a sequential process or a hierarchical process, with autonomy to reason, use tools, and delegate. So the crew primitive is more of an autonomous way for a agent to figure out what to accomplish. Flow is an event driven, it's a FSM, it's a state machine that orchestrates the crews in a controlled flow, right? As a human, I decide what the flow of the crews will be, right? So I can combine autonomy with control and create a more controlled flow engineering or the orchestration, right? For now, that's enough to understand what crew and flow is. As we learn more, we'll um, delve deeper into these patterns. So today we will pick up our first lab. So I plan to actually go through all these labs, right? If you see, there are many. and this will give us a comprehensive knowledge, right? But today we will do our hello world of Crew AI, where we'll set up, install Crew AI, scaffold a project with the CLI, and run our first crew. Let me click on this, right? So Crew AI, as I mentioned, it's a Python framework for orchestrating um, agents. It is built entirely from the scratch. It is as I mentioned, the concept, the crew versus the flow. A crew is a team of autonomous agents that collaborate on tasks. We'll see how to create the task also with a high degree of self-direction. It is great when you want agents to reason and delegate on their own. A flow is more of an event driven and gives more explicit deterministic control over the execution, and that's why I was telling that, okay, we bring autonomy and control together. It becomes controlled autonomy plus a controlled flow, so that we can, like, although the core is non-deterministic because any agent is powered by LLMs themselves are non-deterministic. But with this flow, controlled flow or orchestration, we try to bring in as much determinism as possible with human in the loop, right? Okay. So let's now start installing it. So pip install Crew AI. So what I'll do is I will go to my PyCharm. We'll create a file called requirements.txt. Within that, I'll say Crew AI and Crew AI the tools, right? And run it. So I'll say, oops, yeah, okay. So now Crew AI is installed. If I say Crew AI version, yeah, so it is installed. We are not going to use OpenAI, we will use Anthropic API key. Next important thing to run is that Crew AI CLI provides some commands which helps to create the boilerplate code automatically, part of the boilerplate code automatically. It basically scaffolds your projects, the dependency installation, running of crew, managing the training and the testing of the crew using Crew AI Train, which we'll explore more later. But these are the set of CLI commands that are part of the Crew AI installation that I can run to scaffold a lot of boilerplate code, so that as a developer I only focus on the more meaty part of the application, which is the business logic. The boilerplate part gets semi-automated generative, I'll say, because you still need to make some changes, right? So we will, in our lab, we'll use now the Crew AI create CLI command. With that, we will create our first project, right? So when you do a Crew AI create crew my project, you can actually name it anything. The project structure looks like this. It will create a high level folder. The root folder is my project. Within that, you'll have a .env where you'll put the secrets. You'll have all your dependencies in the pyproject.toml. There will be readme.md file created, and under source my project you'll have the logic of the orchestration. By default, when you do a Crew AI create crew and the my project, it creates two agents. One is a researcher agent and the other is a reporting analyst agent, right? So this agents.yaml in the config, it captures the configuration of the agents, which is this YAML file, and in the task.yaml YAML it has the tasks that are assigned to the crews, right? So let's do a hands-on to understand it better, right? So for that, we'll go to the lab, right? We already did this. We'll create our project, right? So let me say crew AI, one word, create crew. Instead of my project, I will say, let's say we'll want to create a DIP research agent, right? DIP research. Crew AI, create crew DIP research. It will ask me which provider you want to use for the crew. I'll say, okay, I want to use Anthropic. And within Anthropic, I want to use Cloud Opus 4.6. The key is this. I'm going to delete this key after I'm done with this recording. Right. So now what it did is it created the DIP research folder. It created a .env with Anthropic key that I gave. It created the PyProject.toml with all the dependencies that I need. Within the source, under config, it created the agent configuration, right, where it is saying that, okay, this is the senior data researcher, right, and the reporting analyst, reporting agent. It also put in the role, the goal, backstory. If you want, we can update this, right? But it gave you a bare minimum configuration of these two agents, right? And the tasks, so the researcher agent will use this task, which is conduct a thorough research about the topic that will give. Make sure you find any interesting and relevant information given. The current year is whatever the current year is, right? And similarly, a task for the um, reporting analyst, right? Now, what I found while running this, right, before we can execute this, right, we need to make some changes, right? Since we are not going with OpenAI, which looks like is the default implementation of this Crew AI Create project. The changes that we need to do is, first of all, I need to add the Crew AI Anthropic dependency. I'll say uv add crew AI Anthropic. So okay, so I need to go to, okay, I didn't run the dependencies yet, right? So first of all, I will go to DIP research, crew AI install. It is going to install the dependencies, but it did not install the Anthropic. For that, I will have to add the Anthropic installation as well. And the next thing I need to do is this LLM Anthropic Claude Sonnet 4. In fact, let me do Opus, right? This one I will need to add under the agents.yaml, under the backstory, right, for the configuration of the agents, right? This is what I'll have to do. Once I'm done with this, now if I go back here and say crew AI run, it is going to now execute this agent. So in this agent, I had the first agent as the AI LLM senior data researcher, which is doing a conduct a thorough research about AI LLMs. Make sure you find any. So because why it is, how it is coming from is in the main.py, when I am giving the information, I think it is in the crew.ai probably. where I am giving this, there is it, okay. uh, this is tools main.llm. Yeah, so this is where I gave the topic, the inputs, right, which is AI LLM. This is where I gave the current year. If you remember, in the agents we had the topic, the task also we had the topic and the current year as a placeholder. From the main.py, right, when we are doing crew.run, right, it is taking this input and then doing the kickoff. So when I did this crew AI run, it actually executed this function here and then kicking off both the agents. The senior data researcher, right, why AI LLM came is because in the role I had the topic as a placeholder. So AI LLM senior data researcher did the research for me, right, and then it gave it to the senior data researcher. Okay, not the senior data researcher, it gave it to the LLM report analyst, right, reporting analyst. The reporting analyst is now reviewing the context and it will create the review. So this step took take some time. So yeah, it is done now. So it created the entire report, right. So that is our first hello world into Crew AI. What we have seen is the Crew AI create project CLI command, how it scaffolded the creation of the project, how we did a Crew AI install, and finally, so if I go back, right, what are the things that we did? I think it is in CLI here only. What we did is we did a Crew AI create crew and the project name. Our product name is Deep Research. We did a Crew AI install, and then we did a Crew AI run. Right. This is the hello world, first hello world for Crew AI. So yeah, just follow me now, and I will go into the next set of sessions and subsequent recordings. Thank you.